very good morning.
Good morning, Arihan.
Yeah, how are you doing, ma'am?
Wonderful. I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. So, madam, we welcome you to the world of visionaries and would be delighted to provoke your thoughts on few parameters that will bring in a change across educational institution in a holistic manner. So, like it is a mission to get united with academicians and expertise as you of industries, so that you all could bring a change for the betterment of the students' life. So, madam, to begin with today's interview, I have a very quick 4 questions to ask you and would provoke your quick points on it. So, good to go, ma'am. Can I begin?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, to begin with, do you believe that online education has been an effective tool this far?
Arihan, so I would begin with thanking you for creating a platform like this, because I think the need of the hour is all other educationists of the world come together. And we are not just fighting this pandemic, but we are also finding various effective ways of how we can bring the same change in children's lives that we were able to do when the schools were open. Right. So coming to the first question that you asked, that whether the online classes have been effective till now, considering the limitation of resources and the physical proximity, lack of direction, and unpreparedness. Considering all those parts, I can say that yes, these classrooms have been effective in curriculum delivery, of course. Though there are a lot of, I cannot say that it is a complete substitute of a regular school. An online class can never substitute a regular school, but it has been a good bridge in between.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So, to go with the second question, once the school reopens, what measures you have planned to retain your students' habits so that they are back to school attitude due to a long gap of 1.5 years?
See, of course, because once the government announces or the state governments announce that the schools should now start opening, it's not that suddenly everything will get back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So even the parents will also feel a little apprehensive about sending their children to school. Right. And I think at least for 1.5 months, it is going to take us time, even for the staff members, the school, and parents and children, to get used to the regular ways of going to a school. So I think in between, because we cannot also be wasting time, hybrid classrooms are the only solution. Right. So what I see in the future now is that once we all get an approval of opening schools, with the children who are coming to school and with the children who would opt for rather being staying at home and doing online classes, we have to have a setup wherein we are providing the same level of education to both the categories, children who are in the classroom and children who are at home. So hybrid classrooms, we all have to, this is the time that we should all start preparing, understanding the nuances of how a hybrid classroom is usually conducted. All right. So definitely online classes will not go away. It has to be a combination of the online class, use of smart boards, online resources we'll have to continue sharing online resources so that both the groups of children, none of them would suffer. And eventually, of course, the target is to make them comfortable, make them feel comfortable and wanting to come to school. Right. So once you give the confidence to parents and children, I'm sure this bridge will eventually bring them back to school and everything will get back to normal.
Okay, ma'am, that was a good elaboration. My question 3 would be that this would be a major question for I think in everyone's mind. Let it be right from teachers, parents, and even the students. Do you believe that throughout the past 2 years almost online education, people have missed out on crucial fundamental concept? Because we see that like even my kids, I see that they are not entirely able to focus on the online education because it was a new world for them. So your thoughts on that?
True. So Arihan, I think as far as scholastic concepts and themes are concerned, children still were able to understand them. The reason being, subject teachers were doing a lot of effort, right? They were given a platform to utilize the time and effort and energy. Resources were created for them. A lot of, and just not just the classrooms. Other than that, there were a lot of resources available on YouTube, on platforms like digital platforms like Byju's and Unacademy, etc., etc. So children had an option of looking at various areas to gather information about one theme and concept. Right. So about scholastic areas, I can still say that they were able to cope up. But Majorly, on the other hand, post-scholastic, which is equally important, has suffered badly. 21st century life skills, these are the areas, value education, these are the areas that we could not focus on even at schools. And all of us are culpable for it because we were too busy completing the textbook curriculum that we kind of forgot about all these things. And we also didn't know how to do all that, because you see, implementation of life skill and post-scholastic subjects require engagement. Physical presence is required in most of it. So we could not think of alternative ways of doing it. So I think that is one major area where I think we suffered. And that should also be a priority when we get back to school. That should also be a priority, because for the child's overall growth, if they have suffered for 2 years, we will also be able to fulfill those learning requirements in the coming months.
Okay. So, ma'am, the last question is upon the last few lines that you mentioned. Could you tell me quick good pointers so that have you devised any kind of plan to offer any rigorous bridge courses to close those gaps of fundamental concepts?
Arihant, it is very important that before we start taking on the challenge, we should understand what these challenges are. So majorly these challenges are not about curriculum completion. It is not about even post-scholastic or other things. But a major area which is way above all this is children's mindset, their mental stability, their mental health. Right. For 2 years, they have not been able to freely interact with their peer groups, other adults. This entire interaction is majorly missing from their life. They've got used to watching online web series. They've got used to, all these things which give them instant gratification. So watching online series, binge watching is an example of that. That it gives you instant gratification. You want to watch one episode after the other. So these are the things which they've been using they've been playing a lot of online games. So these are the things that have impacted their brains a lot. Yeah. Right. So otherwise, with their school time when they were doing all this, there was a balance which got created. But this has gone out of balance now in the past 2 years. What we have been facing, and a lot of parents have come to me, discussing these issues, that my child either doesn't talk at all or has been interacting a lot, like more than usual. Right, so children either they are reserving themselves, or they are overexpressed, or they want to express more and more. There's a lot of pent-up energy. So there are these two extremes. When we come to school, see, not every teacher is equipped with the right knowledge to handle the psychological needs of the child. Right? So first of all, what we have to do is we have to prepare all our teachers at one basic level, wherein they understand the sensitivity of the issue. Right. So when these children come back to school, how sensitive they would be to every comment that a teacher makes, towards each other. So even maybe the bullying will start occurring at this moment. Some of them will get subjugated to these things. So, a lot of children who are otherwise aggressive, their aggression has increased. Yeah. Right. So creating a balance. So basically, the teachers community will have to equip themselves to understand what problems can occur when children start coming back to school. That's one. Second is, if it is not in their control, so of course they have limited knowledge. So if it is beyond their control, then they should be able to identify these children, and they will then be given, the cases can be given to the school counselor or the psychologist. So this whole team has to be ready before we start opening our school. You see, because we cannot, these are not the things that we can shut our eyes to and they will recover on their own. Yeah. These are the things we have to deal with daily. Because if the child's mindset is not ready, they will not be able to learn. We will not be able to teach.
Yeah, right.
You see, so that's our priority, and we have to start working on that. That's one. Second is, of course, as I said, that post-scholastic has taken a step back. So we have to bring in a lot of art integration has to come back into practice. So we have to start working around that when the schools begin. And value education, as I said, more and more chances should be given to children to interact with each other. This is not the time that we will ask them to shut up, don't talk, and just listen to what the teacher is saying, because this is what they have been doing for past 2 years. This is the time then we will have to encourage them to talk among them, because they have all gone back to their own respective shells.
Yeah.
The social development has completely taken a still, right? So we have to overdo certain things to bring them back to normal. So I think these are the points which we have to observe, magnify, and then start working on it. Before we open the school, this is the right time we should be rather working on all these things.
So basically, you mean that the management has to do some kind of strategy wherein they train the teachers how to equip the student, and at the back end, you say that you require some kind of psychologist or some kind of a good trainer wherein they can train teachers how to handle the student and bridge those gaps of 2 years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Madam, any quick points for you to give to the parents, like how to at least make them ready at the base level before to begin with the school? It is not that just next week they wake up and go to the school. So any good pointers for the parents to do in this period?
Yes, Ariham, this is one point which I have been always saying to my parents, throughout these 2 years, that please make a schedule for your child. They should have a day schedule. So if they haven't already been following a schedule, my request to parents would be that put them into the schedule structure, because that is the only problem which you'll face. That is the first problem that you'll face once children start going to school. Waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, going to school at 7 o'clock is not an easy task. If your child is not in habit of waking up at 6 o'clock, then that will be the first issue that you will face, because then they'll become cranky in the morning. Even the teenagers also become cranky. It's not only about younger children, even teenagers as well. They become cranky if you ask them to wake up in the morning. Then sleeping late. They have been, as I said, they have been watching web series and playing games, and they have been waking up till 1 or 2 in the night, right? That has to stop. So this is the time that, they'll have to at least schedule these things and tell them why. Give them a reason why they have to get into the schedule, so that their body clock gets set with that. Okay. Right? So children below the age of 15, their body clock is usually aligned with the day, as the sun rises, their body clock is aligned with that. So anything against that obviously creates a lot of depression in their body, which they don't realize. All right. So as a parent, you have a responsibility to bring that structure in your child's life. That's one thing. Second is prepare them for the school psychologically and emotionally.
Yeah, psychologically.
Tell them that so some children have they've become reserved. They were not reserved, but they have become reserved. They've stopped talking to their own relatives. They rather resort to their mobile phone, and just stay in their rooms. Make sure that you ask them to come out, talk to them, and tell them that when you go to school, you will get your friends to meet, and then you can discuss about the things. Why don't you make a list of things you want to discuss with your friends? So, keep talking about going to school, so that it settles down in their psychology, and they're mentally ready to, for the new change. It's not as easy as sending the child to the school for the first time. Yeah. That's easier. But sending them now back to school is more difficult.
Greater challenge.
So these are, and yes. And secondly, please don't overreact. So a lot of parents, when they see the child not participating in the school for the first week, they start overreacting. They start putting pressure on the child. Right. Talk it out. Sit on the dining table, have food together, and just tell about your. So there's always an indirect way of asking them what is happening in their life. You tell about what is happening in your life. So you can also say that I hate going back to office and I feel tired. I think working from home was better. What do you think? And then when the child shares, and you say that, but I think it's good because I get to meet my friends. So these are the indirect realization that you're making your child think about. Yeah. Right? Don't be direct in saying that you have to go to school and this is how you're supposed to behave. So direct directions never work. Yeah. Right? So tell them indirectly. I'm sure, especially with teenagers, because it's a very sensitive age. We have to be very careful of how we are guiding our children. So I think these are the points I really would request parents to follow.
Okay, ma'am. So this comes to an end of the interview. So thank you so much for your time. And I would be requesting you to come again and again and provoke your thoughts on many other things, so that education becomes something that we are getting aligned to the foreign countries at their level of education. As even the central government was under a proposal of NLP and all due to this COVID pandemic, I do not know how long it will take. But I think at least the thought of yours and academicians, the expertise of the industries, you can at least bridge that gap, so that your thought gets shared across the channel, and viewers are able to take it up to the next level.
Thank you, Arihant. I would like to thank again for creating a platform like this. So as I said, that we have to talk more about the real issues in education structure. Creating plan alone will not work, will not change the system. So you and I are going to bring that change. So first we have to ourselves learn what is the deficiency in our system and then try to work around it. I'm looking forward for more interviews on your channel, and I would definitely love to come back and discuss more issues. Thanks a lot for calling me on the show.
Thank you so much, ma'am.